Welcome in to Rock Hard Ball, part of the Dogs Media Network at College Football Dogs. Let's get rock hard. All right, welcome in to episode 21 of Rock Hard Ball. Thank you guys all for joining us for yet another episode. Got a good show on the docket for you all today. We've got the ACC predictions up first. Then we're going to move into our Week 0 preview and best bets for college football because it's finally back. AFC predictions after that. And then we're going to finish things up, of course, with Rock Hard Takes, Kelly's Kiki Rankings. And then there's a couple other news stories here and there that we'll kind of get into a little bit between college football and NFL as well. That being said, though, we'll just kind of jump right into things. Won't screw around too much here. Let's start with the ACC predictions. We've been doing this for every conference for those who have been tuning in for a while. So ACC is up next. We've already done Big Ten and SEC. So if you want to check those out, go back to our shows from last week on Monday and Thursday. If you want to check out our Big Ten and SEC ones. So we got ACC here today, and then we're going to wrap things up with the conferences on Monday with the Big 12. So we'll do all the Power Fours. But as you can see, this is the categories. We got champion, title game, coach of the year, disappointing, surprising, and worst teams. So you can obviously see all our picks, but we'll get into them, why we picked two.
You go first this time.
You want me to go first? All right. So starting things off, we got champion, Florida State. We'll go champion, title game together, kind of like we always do. So went Florida State winning it all. Very chalk, I know, but I think the best team in the league. They got a good quarterback. They probably have, arguably the best quarterback in the league and a good roster. They brought back a good amount of talent from last year's team that, probably should have been in the playoff. Of course, Jordan Travis got injured, though, and then people kind of just ended up getting left out for that, I think was the reason, basically. And then I got Clemson playing them in the title game. So, again, everybody thinks this is going to be the two best teams in the conference. I think that it's correct. I think they will be the two top teams. And I think Florida State's going to come out on top, and I think they'll end up being a top 4 playoff seed. So.
Yeah, I think it's a Dabo bounce back for sure. And then also, I like Cade Klubnik. I don't know why. I like him. I see why he has a lot of potential. I'm going to take a big year from him. I like Clemson.
All right. So coach of the year, Weezy's got Dabo Sweeney here. He just kind of mentioned, think he's going to get a bounce back year.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see another down year from Dabo. No.
Yeah, I mean, they were definitely. I don't know what Clemson's going to be in the future landscape of college football if Dabo just refuse to adapt.
Yeah, if he doesn't go to the portal ever, it's going to be bad. I think if they don't play well this year, it's going to be a wake up call to him, and he's just going to have to go against his morals.
Yeah. Also, I guess we forgot to mention we're in hockey jerseys tonight, so shout out. We've got the Canner jersey on over there. Colin's also got one on over here. Clyde Cletus. You can't see him on camera, but he's also repping the hockey jersey. So it's not hockey season, and we almost never talk about hockey, but that's what we decided to do tonight. So yeah, I went Brent Pry. For those who don't know who that is, he's the head coach at Virginia Tech. I think they're primed to have a pretty good year. They're not necessarily a favorite in the conference, but I think a lot of people are, realizing that they're doing some good things over there. So we just got him as a surprising team. I almost picked him as well. So I think that they're going to have a good year, and I think he's going to be a big part of that, leading the charge there for Virginia Tech. Disappointing teams. This is their, teams that maybe were lower on than the general public. I went with Syracuse here. I don't think the general public necessarily thinks Syracuse is going to be good, but I think most people think they'll probably make a bowl game, maybe be, a game above 500. I just don't have a lot of faith in Kyle McCord. I mean, he wasn't very good at Ohio State, so I don't really understand how he'd be any better at Syracuse. So I don't think that Syracuse is going to be very good, and I think they actually might be one of the worst teams in the conference.
Yeah, I only picked Miami because going through what other people a lot of teams have them at 11-1, potentially also winning the ACC. I don't see it. I get that they were not bad last year. I get the talent they brought in. Cam Ward's a stud, but I just don't see any way that they compete with those top dogs like Clemson and Florida State.
Yeah, Miami is a tough one for me. I think they're a very big wild card because, like you said, yeah, a lot of people are very high on them, and I get it. There's good talent. Mario Cristobal was a very, very good head coach for years, and obviously they were a little down. So now I guess his seat's probably getting a little bit warm. But if he kind of coaches true to the resume that he had coming from Oregon, then I think that obviously he's still a high level coach. So they could still have a good year. But yeah, I think that you're also right. They could definitely. I think they're just a big swing team. I think they're gonna go either way. They're one of those kind of like a Texas A&M. It kind of reminds me of that, or Texas. It's it seems like they're always they either are they're gonna live up to all those lofty expectations. They're gonna boom, or it's just gonna be a complete dumpster
fire. Huge boom or bust team.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it. For surprising, we already talked about it. I really like Brent Pry, and then also I like Virginia Tech in the situation of ACC got a lot worse.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a year and a time for Virginia Tech to leap themselves into that tier 1 in that conference.
Yeah, and Virginia Tech's been they're not a historically great program, but they've been historically like a good solid program, and they've just had some down years. They were never as high as Nebraska was, but almost a little bit similar. They were good back kind of similar times as Nebraska, and then they've just been really down for a while. But I think last year was a good step towards getting a little better, and like you just mentioned, ACC got a lot worse. Speaking of the ACC getting a lot worse, one of the new teams coming into the ACC, SMU, is who I have as my surprising team. A team that comes in from the group of 5 that was a very good group of 5 team. I don't think people are necessarily low on them, but I think they might be even still better than people think they will be. I think they're going to make the jump to a power conference. They'll be one of the best group of 5s going into a power conference, I think, in terms of just playing right to that level of competition right away. They were very good last year, and I think that they just got a really good shot to compete in the ACC right away. I don't think it's going to take too long for them to adjust. So, worst teams, I went with Wake Forest. We obviously got Virginia there. Just not a whole lot to be excited about for Wake Forest. Again, this is pretty chalk for both of us. I think most people see these two as two of the worst teams in the conference. I don't know. I'm not going to talk about it too much, but
I won't either.
Not a lot excites me. So.
Virginia was pitiful last year. They didn't get any better. I get again, it's a situation of teams like SMU are coming in from the group of 5, but I just don't see both those teams. I just don't see any improvements.
Yeah, I mean, ACC is a little bit different too, like in terms of like the SEC and the Big Ten. When we talk about the worst teams over there, like the worst teams in those conferences are probably only going to win like maybe like a game or two. The one difference I will say is I think the worst team in the ACC will still win like 3 or 4 games because I think the conference is bad enough, and obviously you have out of conference play too. But I think the worst teams here won't be like as bad comparatively. In like an actual record wise.
I could also see either Wake Forest or Virginia maybe only winning 2. Like I think that's definitely possible as well.
Mm-hmm. All right. So that's the ACC predictions. If you have any that you wanted to, let us know about, feel free to drop in the comments. Also, another quick reminder, make sure you follow socials, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, TikTok, YouTube. Make sure you follow, subscribe, whatever, so you can stay up to date with what's going on with Rock Hard Ball. And obviously, you want to get notified when we go live too, so you don't ever miss an episode. Let's move into the AFC. Actually, scratch that. Let's stay at college for a second here before we move to NFL. We're going to go over and just talk about week 0. Let's get into that. So we have real football for the first time, again, in the history of Rock Hard Ball, because obviously we started this show back in May or June, something like that. So this is the first time we've actually got to break down real games that will be happening, not preseason, anything like that. Obviously it's week 0. The matchups aren't super exciting, but it is real college football. So let's get into it. We'll lead off with the biggest game and the one that, most people are recognized with. It's going to be number 10, Florida State and Georgia Tech playing in Ireland, 11 a.m. Central Time on ESPN. I'll
let you go first since I only have 1 and you have 2.
Okay. Well, I don't have 2 for this game.
I'm saying mine is this game, but I only have 1 for the whole week.
So. Okay. So basically, as you can see on the little label there, we're going to do a best bets thing too. We'll do this every week with the NFL and college. When we do our previews, we'll probably each pick. This week is obviously tougher because there's 4 games, and again, it's stuff that's you just don't really have a great read on because you don't really know these teams. A lot of group of 5 teams, a couple FCS teams, stuff like that. So, but normally I would guess we'll probably have maybe 5 or 6 plays a week, something like that.
Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah, but this week Weezy's only got 1. I've got 2. So yeah, we'll talk about that. Georgia Tech and Florida State again playing in Ireland. Florida State minus 10.5 is going to be my bet that I'm going to go with. They got the new quarterback coming in with DJ Uiagalelei. I think he's going to want to have a good game. What? Just me saying the name.
Yeah. You said it really pure.
Okay, thanks. Preach. All right. Anyways, so I think they're going to be excited. They're going to be jacked up. Obviously, he's a very, very long tenured guy. Started at Clemson, was at Oregon State. A lot of games under his belt. He's an experienced quarterback. Jordan Travis obviously is gone now. He was the conference player of the year last year, but I think that's about as close of a good replacement as you can get from the portal. Other than Dylan Gabriel, he was probably the second best quarterback in the portal last year, I would think. Yeah. Maybe Cam Ward. Between those two, I would say.
I would say that's probably 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, right there. So I think they're gonna come out play strong. Obviously, they got left of the playoff. I think there's still a chip on the shoulder from that. So they're gonna be looking for vengeance here. And yeah, I think they're gonna win comfortably, and they'll get it done in Ireland. Also, over under for this game is 55.5. So I'll just throw that out there for anybody that doesn't know. I don't know if you were gonna pick that as a bet, but
yeah, my bet is under 55. For kind of reasons that you kind of preached on, that kind of scares me here. The spread should be bigger. I think you slightly agree, which is why you took it. Mm-hmm. Which tells me it's week 1. It's in Ireland. There's gonna be some growing pains, which is why I think it's low scoring. Because I think if this was like a true 55, that spread would be closer to like maybe 15, 16 points. So I like the under. Also, I feel like a week 1 under is always great.
Yeah.
In this case, a week 0.
And then, like you kind of mentioned too, I mean, 55. It's like it's just such a benchmark because we'll kind of get into it with all these games, but all the over unders are right around like that 55 number. As we'll talk about as we go forward. But I mean, Georgia Tech and the guys aren't necessarily slouches. They had a okay year last year. They gave Georgia a run for their money last year. They got Haynes King there at quarterback. He led the ACC in like passing yards and maybe touchdowns last year, I think, but he also led in picks. So, exciting, polarizing quarterback that can definitely make plays. So, they might keep it interesting for like a half or so, but I think Florida State does eventually just pull away and kind of, put it to them. So next game, Montana State at New Mexico, 3 p.m. Central. That's going to be on FS1. Again, not a super exciting game here, but I will say, like, shout out to Montana State. Obviously, they're an FCS team. A lot of respect for them. I think they're going to be like a top 5 team in the FCS this year. And you can tell that they're respected. New Mexico, obviously, a very bad team. Nothing impressive there. But Montana State going on the road to them is still a 13.5-point favorite, which I think says a lot about a program. The over-under of the game is 54.5. Again, pretty close to that mark. I mean, I don't really have a whole lot else to say about the game. I don't know. Do you have anything? All right. All right, SMU at Nevada, probably another game that people are going to be a little bit more interested in. SMU is a heavy favorite at -25, but I still think that it'll be fun to watch because we just talked about SMU in the ACC. It's their first game now as a Power 5 team. They're going to go on the road to a Nevada team who was very, very bad last year. The defense was bad. They went like 2-10. This game's at 7 p.m. by the way on CBS Sports Network. I do have a bet for this game. I'm going to go over 55.5. SMU is favored by 25 points. So I think that alone just kind of points to the fact I think SMU will just run up the scoreboard by themselves, and then Nevada maybe scores a couple times in like garbage time, and then I think that is what gets us to the over. Again, 55.5 too is like you can tell, like you mentioned, they're playing a little bit safe with like week 0. They know teams are going to be a little rusty, but again, SMU they're going to want to make a statement in the Power 4. So I think they're going to come out and they'll play really well at Nevada. I don't know.
And I like that play.
Comments?
Again, if it's like you said, if you're going to be a 25-point favorite, spread that low, it tells you it's probably going to be a blowout all the way.
Mm-hmm. All right, Delaware State at Hawaii. This kind of funny note about this game. ESPN has it listed as starting at 10:59 p.m. Like not 11.
They missed their flight. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah,
so they missed their flight.
Bus snafu. Yeah.
This scene, we're going to talk about this. I have not looked at this game much, but this is where the spread's 40.5 for Hawaii.
Yeah,
and the over under is 56. Which is the ultimate, like, okay, well, how bad can Hawaii pummel these guys? Mm-hmm. Do you like anything there?
No, because that's where like I draw the line. Like, so like SMU, I was a big favorite. Even SMU, while I do think they will, crush Nevada and they obviously have a chance to cover the spread, it's just a little bit too much points. Hawaii, same thing. Like when you're favored by over 40 points, especially like Hawaii, like who's still a team that's not very good.
Like I don't care how bad Delaware State is.
Yeah, so that it might actually be a better. Yeah, it might be a opportunity to take Delaware plus 40.5.
Or is Hawaii good enough to beat a team by 40? I don't know.
Exactly. So that's why I know I don't want anything to do with this game because I have no idea how it's going to go. Especially like it's just weird. It's in Hawaii. It's late everywhere else, but it's still early there. I don't know. Just bad vibes for like betting, in my opinion.
It's 11 o'clock on a Saturday though, so I will probably put some money on this. I don't know when, but
how will you be in the right mental frame to be putting money on the game?
No, but I will speak myself into the mind frame of if it's 40.5, Hawaii will cover this.
Okay.
They'll win by 22.
Okay. All right. So that's week 0. Again, not super exciting, but going into next week, obviously we'll have a little bit more fun with it. Next Thursday's episode should be really good. We'll have plenty more, bets and good games that we can talk about for college football. But obviously the big one still this week is going to be FSU Georgia Tech. It'd be fun if Georgia Tech makes it a game. But we'll see what actually happens there. But yeah, that's going to be week 0. So tune into the games. Football's back, so it's better than nothing. All right, let's go to some college football just news, I guess, in general. I guess college football recruiting woes. Got a couple of storylines here. So Deion Sanders apparently had some assistant coach like over in Saudi Arabia talking to the PIF, I think they're called or something. The group that like sponsors the Live Tour. And apparently they're trying to get like NIL funding for Colorado. Just not a good look to be over in Saudi, especially for all the hate that the Live Tour got for going over there and getting funding. You as a public university going over there and being like, hey, do you guys want to give us money? Like, just not a good look, Dion. Like, let's not do that.
Yeah, the live is because like we're really gonna get money from the Middle East.
Yeah.
And then Dion's like, oh, we can take some of that oil money.
Yeah, exactly. No, it is just
guys. We went
crazy.
4-8 last year. All right, we'll take every bit of money we can get.
Yeah. No, it's the storylines. I mean, again, I've never been like yes, they're annoying, but I've never been a big like trying to hate on Dion just for no reason guy. But I mean, this offseason has just been bad with the stuff that I mean, they had the stories coming out about like, you know, how players are being treated, which wasn't a great look. And then I mean, just everything about him, you know, telling guys to transfer out, and you know, all he wants to do is just transfer guys in. Just not a lot of program building going on, and I don't think it's sustainable at all. I mean, it's not even really sustained right now. They went 4-8 last year.
Well, how long is he going to be there for?
No idea. That's the other thing I don't really understand. I don't know what the long-term plan is for Dion. Like, does he want to be like a college coach long-term? Does he want to jump to the NFL? Is he even a coach at all? Like, once his kids are gone? Like,
I think he coaches. I don't think he coaches Colorado though once his kids are gone.
But it's like,
I don't know if this is a play for him
still
to get a job at like a you know Power 4 like good team. Like I say, are the Power 4, but you know what I mean, like a respectable, like a powerhouse football team. Yeah,
well, but the thing is, it's like I don't know how he plans on doing that because they're just not good. And again, lots of bad publicity. Yeah, he's still got the name, but I mean that's not going to be enough to get a big time job.
Yeah, and people say like, you know,
you're going to have success.
Like bad press, like any press is still good press, but yeah, like why would you want to bring him in?
No. It's not a good look right now. Again, don't mean to sit here and harp on him and
if you bring him in though, you know you'll have good relations with the Middle East.
Yeah, because that's the number one thing that's important to winning football games in college football. Let's talk about a guy who actually does win a lot of games. God knows how. Kirk Ferentz. Ferentz. Yeah, okay. He is being suspended for the first game of the Iowa season due to recruiting violations for Cade McNamara. Again, don't mean to be mean here, but it's like, why are we getting recruiting violations for Cade McNamara? I mean, he was solid at Michigan, but I mean, that was a really good roster, and that team was significantly elevated when JJ McCarthy came in. It was pretty obvious that, yeah, he was an okay, game manager for a good roster, but it's like Iowa just has not worked. I mean, obviously he got hurt last year, but he wasn't good when he did play a little bit last year.
Brutal in camp this year.
Brutal in camp. So really just a funny look for Iowa.
So, as a fan of a team whose coach gets suspended, or it felt like he got suspended at the beginning of every year. I mean, it doesn't mean anything though.
No, especially week one. That's not going to really play a real factor in Iowa winning or losing.
It is more of just a comedic headline of.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if it would have been like, Kirk Ferentz gets suspended for, I don't know,
like Cooper DeJean, something.
Yeah, or like, I mean, let's see, he was trying to recruit Dylan Gabriel to come to Iowa. And it's like, oh yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, hell, you get suspended for the entire season. Who cares? You got Dylan Gabriel, but no, it's Cade McNamara. So yeah, just a tough look for Iowa. But shout out. I like to see it because no one likes Iowa. So all right, let's move on here. Let's get to our AFC predictions. So again, similar format to what we've been doing with the college conferences. We did the NFC on Monday, and now we got the AFC. So same thing. You got champion, title game, coach of the year, disappointing, surprising, and the worst. You can go first in this one. You got Ravens winning it, playing KC. What's the thought process?
I mean, this has to be the year, right? Like this has to be the year. Kind of from both sides standpoints in terms of Baltimore. They've been unbelievable in the regular season. Have just not played well in the playoffs. Well, it's almost been vice versa. I would argue last year in terms of KC. You would agree was not great in the regular season. Playoffs, they turned it on like the Kansas City Chiefs do. I think this got to be the year where Baltimore finally gets over the hump and goes to a Super Bowl. Yeah, so I can definitely see the thought process. I think there's a very good chance that obviously Baltimore will be competitive as long as they're healthy. They will make a push to be a title contender. I'm still gonna go Chiefs because it's to the point. I think I've mentioned it before. It's like the Brady Patriots. I'm not gonna just say that they're not gonna win until somebody beats them, because it's at this point it's getting like ridiculous. I probably should. We're polar opposites. They're gonna keep saying they are gonna get beat.
Yes, yeah. I just won't do it. They're oh my gosh, sorry. They're like in the AFC Championship game every year. Now they've been in the Super Bowl. Every year it seems like. They just can't be beat. It seems like, right? I mean, the only people who have really beaten Mahomes since Brady retired is like Joe Burrow and the Bengals.
Yeah.
And other than that, just they have everybody else's number. They just don't lose, especially when they're at home. So I think a big factor in the AFC race this year, I think, is going to be Baltimore getting home field. I think that would go a long way because the Chiefs just, again, very, very good at home. I know obviously the Bengals beat them the 1 year at Arrowhead. But we've been there. It's an electric environment. That place is rocking. Obviously, it's cold weather too. I know, some of the top contenders are cold weather teams anyways, but still could play a factor, especially if, a Houston has to come in, a Miami has to come in, as we saw last year. So I think that plays a big factor. And then my title game, I do have Houston, like I just mentioned, very, very similar in terms of home field. I think that could go a long way in them getting the title game. They're a young team, so I think home field plays a big part in terms of them just feeling comfortable. Obviously, they already got playoff experience earlier than they thought they would. CJ Stroud's probably going to be a top 5, maybe even borderline top 3 quarterback in the NFL. So, a lot of things line up. Obviously, they brought in Diggs too, which is a big addition in the playmakers. So I think Houston's going to be really good. I don't know. Do you think most people probably agree KC, Baltimore, and Houston's kind of a 3-horse race in the AFC?
Cincy. I would say if Cincy stays healthy, they're going to be 4, just because of the history of they do have the Chiefs number. Yeah. That's the only team who's ever beaten them.
True.
So if they stay healthy, which is, again, it's a big if. We keep talking about it because it is. But if they do stay healthy, it's a 4-team race.
Mm-hmm. I mean, injuries are always going to be a big if. But
then obviously there's some teams that people would say belong, like, Buffalo.
Yeah, no, Miami's going to win a lot of games in the regular season, but they're completely opposite of the Chiefs until they prove, similar to the Cowboys, until they prove to me that they can perform in the playoffs. I'm just not going to believe in them. I know you're kind of low on Buffalo. We'll talk about that here in a second. But yeah, the race in the AFC, I think, is a lot more interesting than the NFC, though, for sure. Because the NFC is like, the Niners are going to win the West. Like, barring any injuries, they're going to win the West. They're going to be very good. Packers and the Lions are going to battle out in the North, but they're going to be, 2 of the best teams in the conference.
Both should get in regardless and could beat any, like, the Packers and the Lions could beat each other any given week.
Yeah,
we saw that last year.
Yeah, so there's that, and then you got the Eagles, who are probably like the one wild card, I feel like, in the NFC, because like the Falcons, we both think are going to be better than they should be, but they're still not title contenders.
No, definitely not legit.
Cowboys, like I just mentioned, I'm not going to believe in them until they do it.
Like, so Philly's the one where if all things are clicking right, yes, they could win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but again, AFC, there's just a lot more competition, I feel like. Especially, it's even like the playoff race in general, too. Like the NFC, it's pretty easy to pick out. Be like, okay, these are the 7 teams, maybe like an 8th team that are going to like fight for playoff spots. Like AFC, it feels like damn near the whole conference could get into the playoffs. Like there's just a lot of excitement all over the place.
Well, you can go down the line and you can say, okay, well, they have the quarterback where if he plays a great game, they could do it, right? Like you have Buffalo where if Josh Allen turns in Superman, he could do it. Not so much with Tua, more around the surrounding talent.
Yeah.
And then you also have like teams like the Jets, where it's like, if Aaron Rodgers is 30-year-old non-torn Achilles Aaron Rodgers, that team could be very, very good.
Yeah. Chargers, people don't necessarily expect them to be contenders yet, but still, if Harbaugh comes in, gets the team rolling better than people are thinking. Herbert's a guy that can go out there and just win a game. Even the Jags, I know we've done a lot of projecting, but like Trevor Lawrence, I still think has the talent to go out there, win a game if he has to.
And then,
there's quarterbacks all over the AFC.
And then there's teams and coaches too, where it's like, I wouldn't really want to face Mike Tomlin and the Steelers. Like, I get their quarterback situation and talent around them. It's not like great, but it's still a great defense. I wouldn't want to have to play them at the end of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach of the years here. Let's kind of get into it. We kind of already mentioned it. Harbaugh, got your Michigan man up there. What's the reasoning here for having Harbaugh as coach of the year?
I think just the general public thinks that they're going to be really bad for some reason. Like, they still have Herbert. I get that, like, there's nobody to throw to. The talent around Herbert's really bad. But again, by surprising, in terms of, because I also have for surprising, so I'll just talk about that too. It's like, I don't think they're going to be world beaters at all, but I would not be shocked if they win 7 to 9 games.
Yeah, no, for sure. Also they play in a division too, where it's like, obviously the Chiefs are good, but the Raiders shouldn't be, a threat. And then I think the Broncos are interesting. I have Sean Payton here as coach of the year, so I'll just kind of get into that. So this might be kind of a polarizing picking Sean Payton. Obviously, the Broncos weren't very good last year, and there was some, criticism going on as to how he handled the Russell Wilson situation and stuff like that. But Bo Nix looks good. The roster, I think, is there, and let's not forget that Sean Payton was universally thought of as like a top 3 coach in the league. Back in the Saints days, and he took some time away. Now he's back. I think if he has the quarterback, which maybe he does, we don't really know for sure, but if he has the quarterback and the roster seems to be there, I think the Broncos might surprise some people. I think they maybe even could make a playoff push this year if Bo Nix is, good. So that's why I'm as coach of the year. Disappointing. I got Jets. You got Bills. I went Jets because kind of similar to what we talked about in the ACC with like Miami. I think the Jets are just a complete boomer bust team here. Even if Rodgers is healthy, if he's just not what he used to be, if that Achilles just, makes him take a step back. Obviously the roster is still good, but we still don't really know about like Robert Saleh as a coach too. Like, there's just too many question marks flying around with that team where it's like, would I be shocked if they got to the AFC Championship game? No. Would I be shocked if they also went 7-10 and missed the playoffs, even with a healthy Aaron Rodgers? No. So that's why I think they'll be a little bit disappointing. The media just seems to like think that they're going to be guaranteed to like be in the playoffs and make like a push.
They did it last year too,
but I just don't. I don't know if I buy yet. So
yeah, no. And then I have the Bills. Look, you lose Diggs, lose Davis. Like the best talent around Allen right now is probably James Cook, which I just said that out loud. I wouldn't like that either. So no, I mean, obviously Josh Allen and that team could still win games. I just don't think like they're a legitimate title against obviously like teams like KC, Baltimore, Cincy.
No, it would have to take a playoff run like for the ages from Josh Allen for them to get to a Super Bowl and like maybe win one. Like he'd have to be far and away the best player on earth for, whatever, like a month and a half. Yep. So, and he is obviously, capable of doing it. But again, it's not like necessarily likely. So yeah, I get the pick there. You already kind of talked about your surprising team a little bit, but I'm going to go Bengals. Again, I don't think people are necessarily low on this. It's kind of like similar to like when you took like Mizzou, like in the SEC. It's like, I don't think people are necessarily low, but I still think they're just undervaluing them a little bit. People know they're going to be good, and like should be, at least a playoff team. But I still wouldn't be surprised if, all things go well, everybody stays healthy. I mean, yeah, the Ravens are a really good roster, but the Bengals could still win that division.
Oh,
they still have a very good roster. Joe Burrow, I still think is, top 5 quarterback in the league. And they've been there before. They made the run to the Super Bowl. So I think that they're going to be very real contenders.
People forget, like when they were healthy, they went to a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Like this team is very talented.
Yeah, it was a few years ago, but still, I mean, it's basically the same core. So
yeah, it is.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to add on the Chargers or?
No, I think they'll be all right. Again, as long as Herbert stays healthy, he hasn't recently. And then Harbaugh's like the best coach you can bring in for a situation like that too. Because obviously, again, his bread and butter is not offense anyways. Like that defense is, I think, is going to turn it up a notch. You still have talent like Bosa there. So no, I think they're going to win more games than they probably should. And like you said, I think like between the Broncos or Chargers, I think one of those teams finds a way to slip in.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Raiders will be bad. But yeah, so they'll get a couple free wins. But yeah, we'll see. Okay. Worst team, Patriots. They're going to be just very, very bad, I think. Quarterback situation is not figured out at all. Jacoby Brissett's probably going to start the season. Maybe they bring in one of the rookies at some point, maybe both of them. Who knows what the hell's
I don't think Milton makes the team. Well, in terms of like, I think he'll be a practice squad guy.
Yeah, but if reports were true about him looking better than May, then we'll never know. But
how stupid do you look if like, we're going to pass on from Brissett and we're going to give the growing pains to our 6th rounder instead of our 3rd overall pick?
No, I'm saying like if it's like a Brissett, is just not playing good, season's just already tanked. They bring in May and he's just like getting eaten alive by the Wolves, and maybe they're like, whatever.
Yeah, okay. I was
Milton
saying,
out there,
like if Brissett, it's like at the point where it's like, all right, there's no really point in playing Brissett at this point, so let's throw Milton in there. Like that would be a disaster.
No. Yeah, that's not what I meant. I meant like all else fails type thing. Like, let's see what he has got, like type thing. So, but yeah, I think they're gonna be very, very bad. So
I agree. Not a lot of wins from them.
Yeah, we don't gotta sit here and debate it all day. All right. That being said, let's go to a commercial break here. Then when we come back, we'll get into a little bit more NFL stuff, just kind of some general news going on throughout the league, and then we'll wrap things up with Rock Hard Takes and Kelly's Kinky Rankings. Rock Hard Takes today is sports quotes, and then Kelly's Kinky Rankings is what is it again?
Worst jerseys.
Worst jerseys. All right. So that's what we're going to do. But first, let's get to a quick 1-minute commercial break. Once again, listening to Rock Hard Ball, part of the Dogs Media Network at Culture Ball Dogs, and we will be right back.
On the College Football Dogs website, you'll find a main page that features some of our biggest and newest stories. Our conference pages for content related to your favorite team's conference. Our team store, where we have products that are available all year long, as well as gear available for a limited time only. Our podcast page, where you can see when one of the 12 plus College Football Dogs podcasts is streaming live on social media. Our subscription page, where you can join our Discord. If you're interested in becoming a contributor at College Football Dogs, email us at info@collegefootballdogs.com. If you enjoy any College Football Dogs content, we really do appreciate any donations you can make by visiting the donate page on our website or scanning the QR code here.
College football dogs for the fans.
All right, welcome back. Again, listening to Rock Hard Ball, part of the Dogs Media Network at College Football Dogs. Another reminder, go check out the website, collegefootballdogs.com. Lots of great articles, stuff like that coming out on a daily basis over there. As we get into season, we're going to have game previews and recaps for basically every Power 4 team. So make sure you keep an eye out for all those. I know I'm going to be writing up some previews, recaps, stuff like that for Nebraska. So, yeah, go check that out as well. But let's get into some of the NFL news we got going on. Nothing too major here, but I mean, it's kind of expected. And as we mentioned a little bit when we were talking about Sean Payton and the Broncos, Bo Nix has officially been named quarterback 1. I think it's a good sign that they're comfortable naming him right now in the preseason. They don't need to see any more. Maybe a little bit of an indictment on Zach Wilson and Jarrett Stidham because they've been really bad too. But I don't know. What do you make of Stidham officially being the starter?
Stidham?
Or Nix? Yeah, sorry, my bad.
No, I like it too. Name him early. Obviously, he's looked very good this preseason, and I think it's a good good direction for the Broncos to say, you know what, we have our guy.
Yeah,
that's pretty much what they're saying, and hopefully he's their guy.
I think it's a good confidence boost for him too. As a young guy, just let him know right away, like, yeah, you are the best quarterback in the room, and you're going to start day one. First Broncos rookie quarterback to start since Elway.
I did see that, and I mean, if they can get all the pieces together, Bo Nix finally might win the Heisman this year. So.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I think he is the odds-on favorite this year, so might have a chance. But yes, congrats to Bo Nix. Again, we kind of all knew it was coming, but he has looked really good this preseason. There's been good reports out of camp. Sean Payton, I think, has been in love with him since like the pre-draft process. It seems like I know there's reports coming out constantly about like I know there was some story about the Broncos were like completely fine. I think when the Falcons traded up for Penix or something like that, they're like, yeah, we don't care, like we want Nix.
We want Nix, yeah.
So yeah, it's good luck for all of them. Hopefully it works out. I think the Broncos are kind of like a fun team when they're good. Historical franchise. They won a few Super Bowls, so it's always a little bit more entertaining when you got those bigger, older brands that are good. So yeah. All right. Other football news outside of the Knicks thing. Falcons locked down AJ Terrell for the long term. He signed a 4-year, $81 million deal. He becomes the second highest paid corner in the NFL. So Falcons making a lot of big investments in defense this offseason. I don't know.
I think
good decision.
I mean, yeah, I like the decision a lot. 4 years, not terrible, but no, I think this team could be sneaky, top 10 in the league in defense.
Yeah,
would that shock you?
No, definitely not. Yes, Fandy Chris agrees. Broncos are going to be sneaky good. 100%. They have the quarterback, have the talent. Yeah, we kind of already coached on that quite a bit, but yeah, they'll be good. They'll be good for sure. Well, not for sure, but if Knicks is good, they'll be good. I think. Yes. I think a lot of it rides on that. And then Jahan Dotson today got traded to the Eagles. Not exactly a huge name, but I mean, I think he'll fit really, really well in that spot for the Eagles. Obviously, they have A.J. Brown. They have Devontae Smith. They got a good running back with Saquon. Jalen Hurts, commanding the offense. And now you just add a guy that's, quick, young, and I think he's going to fit in well.
Obviously, he has to do a lot less than he had to do with Washington. Mm-hmm. So I really like the move. Obviously, he's not the guy we thought he was coming out of college, but I like it. Won't have to do too much with the other two in front of him.
Yeah, no, good, just kind of role player type receiver coming in there for the Eagles, which again, just another little minor upgrade that they get as they try to compete there in the NFC. Okay, that'll do it for the NFL news. Not a whole lot else going on, but obviously as we get closer and closer to the season, there'll be more and more news that'll be worth talking about. That being said, though, next thing we're going to get into is Rock Hard Takes. And then, of course, we'll finish up the Kelly's Key rankings. But first, let's do Rock Hard Takes of the best sports quotes.
Bone up, folks. It's time for Rock Hard Takes.
All right, so Rock Hard Takes today is going to be sports quotes. We took this pretty, I don't know, liberally loose. I don't know how you want to put it. I know I've got a few real ones on my list.
I don't have a single real one.
Okay.
In terms of when you look like the great quotes in sports.
Okay. I do have a couple. We'll see if I actually end up using them. But yeah, it's pretty random. Like I've got like a tweet in mind. I've got just, not necessarily quotes, but kind of a group of just speaking. But yeah, best sports quotes. So I believe I have the 101.
You have the 101.
Okay. So this is hard. Okay. At the 101, I'll just go with I don't know. I just think it's really funny, so I'm going to go with it. LeBron James saying before the game even started, I said he was going to score 70. I don't know what made me say that. He got to 70, and I was like, well, he might as well go for 80 now. This again, of course, that legendary clip is him talking about the Kobe Bryant 81-point game, where apparently, as we all know, he's a prophet. So he somehow predicted that he was going to go for at least 70 points in that game because he just had a feeling. And then once he got to 70, he was like, well, he'll probably go for 80.
He'll probably
so,
go 80.
yeah, LeBron with a good quote there at the 101. So
no, it's a great one. Also, like when I was looking at this, like there is no like 1-1.
No,
there is
it's
no
so subjective.
Yeah, it is. It's more so just us like looking back and seeing what's funny. With my first pick, I'm going to go with Mark Jackson in the finals, talking about Savannah James and saying, I knock her out the park with all due respect.
Yeah, that was an absolute wild comment from.
I'm almost positive like people have gone back and it's like truly, it's not what you actually think it is, but it's like, I'm going to make it to seem like.
No, yeah, exactly. Well, it's way funnier that way. So why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
But no, that's a great pick. Again, not exactly a quote, but it works. So.
And then this one is not safe for the family. So I'll just, I'm going to take the New York Train 7 quote from Atlanta great John Rocker.
Okay. Yeah.
And Survivor specialist. I forgot what season he was on, but he was definitely on Survivor.
He was bad in that show.
Yeah, they hated
Bad man.
Yeah, he's just not a good person overall.
He could have won it though.
Yeah.
He could have.
Well, the quote you're referring to is, like you said, not.
I'm not. I can't.
So we're not going to read it here.
I can't say it on the air.
Look it up at your own whatever the word is.
Discretion.
Yeah. We're not encouraging it, but if you want to look it up, it's a really funny quote. So, all right, let's go. Next one for me. I'm going to go with a tweet from Ohio State legend Cardale Jones. Why should we have to go to class if we came here to play football? We ain't come to play school. Classes are pointless. It's an all-time tweet from a student athlete, especially because it's such a priority in college athletics that they're student athletes. The student comes first, and coaches and whatever universities harp on that. And you get Cardale Jones, who just fires up the ancient Twitter and just puts that one out there for all the world to see, and it's a great one. So
and I think it's like incredibly funny too, given that that is a very true tweet today.
Yeah,
like they are here to play football.
Yeah,
they're not here,
especially now. Yeah, they're getting paid. They're moving around. So yeah, Cardale was ahead of the people there. And then Jason actually is pulling up the next one I was going to go with here. Just an all-time classic. It's maybe a little overused, but I still think you can't not mention it. I'm just here so I don't get fined. Marshawn, again, all-timer. I think that's probably one of the most just famous quotes of all time from sports. So I'll throw that one in there. Got to give Marshawn his props because he was just a media legend too. Just every time that guy stepped to the podium, you knew it was going to be something good. So shout out Marshawn.
Oh, okay. For my third one, I'm gonna go with I'm Ozuna from the Braves. So Ozuna, drinking and driving. I thought the cops should definitely know that he is Marcell Ozuna from the Braves.
Okay.
And then my next one, I'm going to do Bang, Mike Breen.
Okay. That's very good. Didn't really even think to. That's a good pick. Kind of just disappointing. Okay, so let's see here. I actually don't have the exact quote written down because I kind of just remembered it off the top of my head here. That I think goes really well here because I have 2 left, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So one that I'm going to go with is a very recent quote from Deshaun Foster. Just letting everybody know that UCLA is in fact in LA.
Okay.
They are rivals with USC, and they are out there in California, and they are now in the Big Ten. They used to be in the Pac-12. Again, I'm sure I'm just butchering the wording there, but all-time quote of him just getting up there for his opening statement, clearly having absolutely nothing prepared, and just wanted to let everybody know geographically where UCLA is located and who they're rivals with. So,
yeah,
good quote there from Deshaun
Unbelievable
Foster.
Quote.
Final one that I'll go with. I'm gonna go just a bias, a personal one. A good one that's one of the only real ones that's just a good quote. Vince Lombardi, think of only 3 things: your God, your family, and the Green Bay Packers, in that order. All time. I had a poster of it in my room. So yeah, good quote. Might be very Homer based, very niche. Most people aren't gonna appreciate it unless you're a Packers fan, but I had to throw it out there. So
I got one more, right?
Yeah.
And then that wraps it up. Okay, actually shout out Kobe's comment. I'm actually not going to go with this one, but I am going to go with another Pete Weber.
Okay.
When he retired in his interview, "Love me or hate me, you watched."
Yeah.
Which is so funny because we did not watch.
Yeah.
Nobody was watching.
We watched the
TV.
one clip of you saying who you think you are, I am, and that was it.
Yeah.
But hard quote though.
Yeah, it's so hard.
Yeah, it goes really hard. Let's get into some honorable mentions here. Couple ones I have. Not necessarily like the actual quote, but like you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, Wayne Gretzky, but by Michael Scott.
By Michael, yep.
That definitely adds a little flair. If you ain't first, you're last. Ricky Bobby, I think that's a good one. Come after me, I'm a man. I'm 40. Mike Gundy. I don't know. You want to throw a couple out there? I've got more, but
there's some too. Again, I've done that 1,000 times. Talking about drinking and driving. I had We Did It, Jason Tatum.
Okay, yeah.
I had Oh No Valentine. That is not the shot. Stacey King. It's a great one. And then do you know who Matt Stairs is? I would assume no, you're not a big baseball guy. He was a journeyman reliever and starter. He tweeted after the game, when you get that nice celebration coming into the dugout and you're getting your ass hammered by the guys, there's no better feeling than that. So
some other ones I had. Again, some real quotes here that were just funny. Of course, another all-time classic here. Playoffs. Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs. I just hope we can win a game. Jim Mora.
Yep.
Really good one.
Then you can go right into the practice.
Yeah, I was just going to say Allen Iverson's just entire practice press conference. Not exactly a quote, but just all that. Because there's so many lines within that are great. And then I also have one more. We kind of talked about doing this later on, but I'm still just going to throw it out there. LeBron, when he's on the podcast with some guy, I don't know who the guy was, but
that's my favorite quote too.
Yeah. The he's like, my coach said, put yourself in situations where you're not comfortable. And LeBron go, oh yeah, that's my favorite saying. That's my favorite saying. As if that was like some, big universal quote. So
I love LeBron.
All time, just LeBron lie. He's really good at it. All right, that'll do it, I think, for Rock Hard Takes. Unless you had any other honorable mentions you want to throw out.
I'm trying to think, but no, I don't have any.
All right, so that'll do it for Rock Hard Takes, and that means that it is now time to move on to most people's probably either least favorite, maybe sometimes both at the same time segment of the show, Kelly's Kinky Rankings.
In a world of politics, war, bad beats, and watching your favorite sports teams come up short, sometimes you just need to hear a guy rank random shit. Enter your hero, Colin Kelly, here today for another edition of Kelly's Kinky Rankings.
All right, so we're just going to go straight off the dome. Worst jerseys in sports. I mean, I'm kind of biased because I didn't put any soccer jerseys because soccer jerseys in general are just like pretty cool. Like they're all very like plain also for the most part. So
soccer jerseys are also tough because they have like so much like advertising and stuff going on in them.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it also
it's not
like,
really fair to compare.
It also like heavily depends though, because like I still think probably like the best one would be like the Spider-Man one. But you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I thought we were doing worst.
No, I'm just saying in general though.
Okay.
Soccer, it's kind of tough to rank because all of them are fairly good. So we'll just hammer off the first one with football being the Packers throwback. I'm sorry, Carter. These ones suck, dude. Like the Bears, like we have shit ones, which it's like it's kind of like the same concept, but it's just all navy blue.
They're not great. Obviously, those throwbacks are from like the 1920s. They also have the other ones that are like they're like navy jerseys with like a yellow circle.
That one's worse.
That one's
like,
probably
much
worse.
worse.
And it's like a brown helmet.
Yeah, at least this one's
worse,
better. This one's a little bit better.
No, I'm not gonna hate. Like I'm not gonna argue here. They're
yeah.
Great, so.
You guys also have the piss yellow and weird blue colorway. Isn't that you guys too? Or is that the Steelers? It's like bright blue and bright yellow.
No, we don't wear that.
No.
Oh no, that's Eagles. That's the Eagles one, I think.
I'm not sure if I know what you're talking about, but
yeah, I'm
bad. I'd have to pull the.
I'll try and you keep going. I'll try and look it up.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna go number 5, Packers throwback. It's god awful. It's really bad. And then 4, Steelers B jersey. I mean, yeah, it's like historically known as like it's Dre Archer's team. That's what he's known for is that jersey and being a little quick guy. But it's just seeing fat Ben Burger, man. It brings back really dark times.
Yeah, so I went to look up that jersey, and you're right, it was the Eagles, whichever one you said that.
Yeah.
And it was actually they pulled this one up with it because I'm assuming it's just other bad jerseys. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I actually don't mind the Bumblebees. Personally,
I
think they're
great. Kind of weird.
They aren't great, but of the throwbacks, like those aren't like in my opinion.
It's really tough because like, why are the numbers in boxes?
That's the one thing that
That's all it does. It. I mean, if it was stripes, yeah, it hurts.
To be,
your head,
be fair at
but
the same time though, because then if you put the number not in boxes,
you can't
and it
see
kind of blend into the stripes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can't
so
see it.
it's the whole number situation just doesn't work very well in these.
Yeah, I don't know what graphic guy came up with that one, but like in general, you don't put weird obscure colors on top of each other and then try to blend it, which white just does not make sense in that photo at all. So we're gonna go number 4 Steelers, and then number 3 I'm gonna be going with Clippers. New jerseys are ass.
Okay.
All right, so everything in basketball, baseball is still pretty solid at the moment. Football pretty solid at the moment, but like it's so plain. Like I'm trying to think of the word that comes to head, but it's like the 90s, the greatest era with sports jerseys.
Just creativity.
Yeah, creativity is on the down. They just want to be more of like
It's a simplistic look.
yeah. It's more simplistic, and it's really frustrating because I hate the Clippers' new logo. Like what the fuck is a Clipper?
Are they also just a basketball?
Clipper's like a sailor, I think.
Yeah, which is
But the Clippers their logo is a basketball, right? It's around a basketball. Or there's a basketball in it.
yeah, but it's like it's
That's-
weird
did that-
though
oh,
because it's like a boat,
yeah, they
and it's
updated
like
it.
it's the anchor also. It's really weird, and it's
Yeah, so it's like a circle, and then it says C in the middle, and it's a ship like driving at you, and then it's got like
Yeah.
navigation
Okay,
points on
that
it.
is still
Yeah.
so much better though than all these teams that have great logos that just
It's-
killed them by going to the like basketball look. Like Detroit Pistons with the actual horse.
Yeah,
That's
that
an
was sick.
awesome logo. But now it's just Pistons in the shape of a goddamn basketball,
Yeah, Clippers actually used to just be a
Yeah.
basketball with like the LA and then the C around it.
Yeah.
In the middle.
which is stupid too. Get rid of the basketball logos.
The basketball logos are really weird, but like a boat. Like when I think of basketball, yeah, I mean, if the
It is
fucking-
weird because I
if
think
the sailor had a
no
playing
one
fucking
knows actually what a
basketball,
Clipper is, so I think that's part of it.
Yeah,
why it
I
feels
mean,
so stupid.
if I were the Los Angeles Clippers, I would have done an entire name brand when they left for their new stadium. Just fucking change the team name.
That's the worst idea. No.
Because like the jerseys are the same. I mean, the away, I don't even know what the fuck their home is if they're wearing blue or white.
I think
their
people
whites are
like.
horrible.
I think people hate name changes though.
oh
Yeah, it's weird.
They hate
It's,
it.
it's
Yeah,
definitely weird, but like
It'd be frowned upon.
I get what he's saying. Like in their situation where it's like they're moving stadiums, they already rebranded all the jerseys and logos. It's like, what's one more thing at that point?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I can get that. Yeah.
Even like the color scheme though with these, like Paul George's jersey, the red ones, like I can't even read Los Angeles.
That's a you problem.
Yeah, I can read it.
I mean, no, like I can clearly tell it's Los Angeles because like yeah, but it's like the color blending looks stupid. The only one that I can somewhat like is the white one, but also that like mimics like any other jersey, dude.
Yeah.
Dude,
Oh,
any other
you got
jersey.
something to say? Over
No,
there? Okay.
Yeah, I mean they're hot trash. I really don't like them.
Kind of messed up though that like the only good one's the white one.
Okay.
It's Harden.
Okay.
It's Harden. It's only Harden. It's always been Harden. All right, then we're gonna go number 2. Not Mighty Ducks. All right, Anaheim. Yeah, they changed their jersey now, which they're cool now. But for a very, very long period, I just like. Is it supposed to be like the like foot of a duck?
I
Like,
think
you
so.
know?
I think it is supposed to be like the flipper of a duck. Yeah.
Yeah, but like that confused me because it looked like a fucking alien, and no one understands that.
Well, also, I mean, it's just Anaheim hockey. Like nobody gives a shit outside of when they were like pretty good, like in the early 2000s.
Yeah, it's really bad, man. It's really bad. They should go to Phoenix. They have an
I don't think
opening.
Might get worse.
No, they have an opening in hockey.
Can we just get like hockey teams out of these weird ass places?
Yeah,
like
no,
that's the
seriously.
one sport where I feel like you actually had to geographically be like somewhere where that kind of matches your
Yeah.
sport.
Oh.
Every other sport's fine, but like hockey just feels weird. Like when it's
Oh,
like
hockey that's not
in
like
Florida and
in the
Texas
East
and
Coast
Florida
or
hockey
North.
sucks.
What are we
It's-
doing?
Florida hockey sucks. Yeah. Shout out the Panthers. Fuck you guys. All right. I
Yeah.
hate Carolina and the Panthers.
Kelly
It
was
was always
hard
it was
for our
always
neighbors from the
McDavid.
north.
It was always McDavid. Yeah, I want Canada to win, dude. And I'm from America. And I want Canada to
That's
win.
saying something.
It's crazy. Yeah, I'm sick of it. All right. Yeah, number 2, Mighty Ducks did fucking horrible. Now they're awesome. It's the same exact thing, but they stole the old logo, which yeah, cool. So somehow they're figuring it out. And then number 1, I'm gonna do Atlanta Hawks for the last like 6 years until they changed it. Like,
These were bad. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not.
I
good.
mean, dude, I forgot. I just remembered this. Their alternate was mismatch red neon shorts with the black jerseys.
They just had so much neon going on.
I mean, like,
I think that
they're
they
pretty
tried
sick.
playing
They're
into like the
pretty sick.
Atlanta vibe too much.
Yeah.
yeah,
I will though say those jerseys had some like teams that you won't forget.
yeah.
Like Kirk
I-
Heinrich. You had Paul Millsap.
Well, the 15 Hawks were just one of the all-time teams. Just of
They're fucking good.
the
dude.
entire starting lineup was
They're
all
so
stars, but
good.
just none of them were superstars.
Yeah.
Just a collection of guys who were just all like above average players, and then they won like 60 some games.
Yeah, I mean,
Why am I blanking on their starting guard right now? On that
Jeff Teague.
Jeff Teague.
Jeff Teague. Yep.
Yeah. He's a dog.
He might have been the best player on the team.
Yeah,
Probably
yeah.
Paul Millsap.
Well, he was
Young-
good. He was a defensive guy. Yeah,
Young Schroeder was on that team, right?
that was his rookie year.
I think. Yeah, I think he
Yeah,
was their sixth
Yeah,
man.
I used to have him on 2K15 on my bench. He
Who was the starting
dog
five?
shit.
Well, you got Teague. You had Korver. You had Millsap. Who's their five?
That old fart. What's his name? He's a Celtic.
Was Al Horford on that team?
Yeah.
Yeah, Al
Yeah,
was
yeah.
Al was the five. Yep. Who
Yeah.
the hell was the two?
The
Then?
two was
It wasn't.
Oh my
It wasn't Big
God,
Kirk
dude.
O'Hine.
no. Well, I think Big Kirko was a 6-man at that point. in his
Was
career.
he?
I think he was a 6-man.
Okay, wait. So this is saying that they only had 4 All-Stars that year. I thought they had 5.
I thought it was all 5. I thought it was all starters. Yeah.
What was the starting lineup though?
Well, okay, I just looked at the All-Star list and it's just this Millsap, Korver, Horford, and Teague. So the ones that we already have.
Yeah.
Let me look at the starting
It's a
lineup.
fucking
here.
mystery, man.
Some great podcasting right now.
Yeah.
I love Dwight Howard.
Okay, this can't be right. Oh, that's 15, 16. Okay.
Why am I?
Just show me who it is.
Why do I
Okay.
feel like it was Kirk Hines?
I think it's a 14-15 year.
Yeah, it was. It was 14-15.
It was Damari Carroll.
Oh my god. Wait, what?
So yeah, no shit, he wasn't an All-Star.
Wait, no, he's a 3, right? DeMar Carroll.
I don't know. Korver played the 2.
Yeah, that's-
Corver
yeah,
definitely played the 2.
100%
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
Kent Bazemore started some games for that team too.
Oh my god, I forgot about that guy.
Okay, what years was? Okay,
It was definitely 14, 15.
really-
That was the year they
Yeah,
lived.
yeah. I
15,
mean,
yeah.
I really thought for some reason
Yeah.
Heinrich was still on that team, but he left in 13.
But I do like full heartedly believe that no, I've not seen a single person like in person wear an Atlanta Hawks jersey like that.
It's true.
I've never seen it ever.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody ever wear an Atlanta Hawk jersey.
Yeah, I don't think so. I thought that's what he was saying.
No, like I mean,
He's
like
saying,
this
like,
era.
no
Also,
specific
like the
jerseys.
more I think about it, though, yeah, I've really never seen it besides like Steve Smith. That's it.
I'm sure I've probably seen like a Trey Young.
Yeah,
Some
I'm sure
point,
the
but-
little kids who like Trey Young,
Yeah.
which
I did.
support those kids.
Dude, I
Buy a
don't-
Curry jersey, man. Don't buy the
Yeah.
off brand.
Why the hell would you buy Trey? Oh my god,
Yeah.
he's bad. He's
All right.
really bad.
Well, that was a fun Atlanta Hawks little rabbit hole to go down to end the episode.
I forgot how good that team was.
Yeah, they were really good. It's really disappointing though that all 5 weren't All Stars. I really thought they were. So that's a little bit disappointing.
Until we read it. Ooh, this
Yeah,
guy was
that makes
okay.
sense. Makes sense. Yeah, he averaged like 8 points. All right, that's gonna do it for episode 21 of Rock Hard Ball. Thank you guys all for tuning in. We will be back on Monday. Monday we'll be recapping some of the week 0 games. Again, we got our Big 12 predictions coming up, and then of course just kind of whatever else news we got going on as we prepare for the first actual week of college football coming up next weekend. So again, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back 9 p.m. Central Time on Monday. Make sure you check out the social medias, all that good stuff. And we will see you guys next time.